Okay, let's go for another video. This one will be adding heels to an outfit which is barefoot. So what's the plan? I got this outfit here which has these shoes, and basically we'll be adding those shoes to this outfit here which doesn't have shoes. I try to get simple models to make easier to work. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is to get the meshes and the textures from the donating mod, so you can put in the other one. If you look at the shoes here, they have basically two meshes, one for the majority of the shoe and another one for the pieces which are the metal pieces. Okay? So you can open these in Blender, you can get Blender, open the model here and export these meshes, or you can see, or we can also get from Last Round Photo Studio and just export straight away. So let's get from here because it's faster. We come here, extract TMC, go to our folder, save, extract TMC, save. Okay. Also, we'll be needing the textures for these two meshes. So if you look at the texture viewer, we have like 4 textures showing here. Let's get the diffuse texture. The dirty one, it's basically the one for the body. I use this in most of my mods. If you look at the vanilla outfits, you'll notice that the parts of the outfit, sometimes they have specific dirty texture for them, okay? But that makes things more complex. If you are making a mod with high resolution texture and you start to use dirty texture for every piece of the outfit, it will be lots of textures, and it will not accommodate in the limit of the mod file. If you have seen my previous tutorials, I mentioned that depending on the character, you have limits. If it's it's going to be 6.5 meg for the TMCL file, and Iana supports up to 10, 10.5, something like that. Okay, so we'll skip that one, get the normal map, and we'll get the specular too. Uh, that's for the shoe, and for the metal piece, it uses the same texture for diffuse, same texture for the normal map, and same texture for this specular, but has this special texture to give it some brightness effect. Okay, so if you start to work with mods, especially working over the mods I've done, you start to notice that the metal pieces, they usually have some specific textures on it. Some silver ones have just a square silver diffuse texture, but they always will have a texture like this to give the brightness or the glow effect. So we'll be needing this one too. Okay? So that's it. We got everything we needed for the shoes from this mod, which is the two TMC meshes. They are here, and also the textures. So with the texture tool, we can add the textures to the mod which is currently barefoot, and will change to having shoes on it. So we'll be opening this one. We come here, right click, add, and I think we're talking about how many textures? 4 textures. Okay, so we'll be adding 4 slots, or you can add from files. It's another option. We'll click here, add 4 files, and just select the textures. The only difference is that in this case they will not enter in the sequence. If you want to put them on a specific sequence, you might prefer to add one by one, because sometimes for organization purposes it's better to add one by one, so you can have diffuse followed by normal map, followed by specular, and so on. Okay, but okay, we added here the textures. Save, override, and that's it. We have the textures for the shoes here. Next step, we're going to add the meshes. Okay, so for adding the meshes, we need the object tool. We will be opening the mod, the swimsuit. Okay, and so we have some things here. We have the body texture. I'm not going deep. Not going deep into the details about the object tool. Okay, I highly recommend you to go to the Nexus page under utilities. I've shared all the tools that I use, and the object tool is there. I've written a brief tutorial giving some explanations about the tool, but you have something very interesting here, which is the tutorial. The tutorial you can download and you can read, and it's going to provide you the details about what each of these parts are. So I'll just go in general so you can have an idea. Okay, you have the object groups here, and since we're going to add two meshes, we need object spaces to add them. Okay, right now we don't have. So what we're going to do, click here, right mouse click, add sub object, and now we have one. And add subject object, and we have the second one. At this point, it's interesting that you open another instance of the object tool. You can do that for the object tool, you can do that for the texture tool, if you want to compare one mod to another. Okay, and we will be opening the donating mod in the object tool, so we can have a look how the shoes are set up here. Okay, so going back here, the shoes, they are the meshes, basically body 1 and WGT body 2.1. So let's focus on body 1. If you double click here, double left mouse click here, this is going to open with, you can open with less round photo studio. It might not be linked in your computer, but you can choose less round photo studio and open this mesh with the tool. It's easy to see what kind of mesh is this one without having to open Blender. So if you open, you'll be seeing without textures, but you know, okay, this is for the shoe. The other one is for the metal pieces. Okay, so it's a quick way for you to, if you, for some instance, I forgot which one is each, just link the TMC mesh extension to Less Round Photo Studio, and you can open with them. So going back here, body 1 is the shoe. We're going to have a look at the lace 03, and this is the shoe. So how are the textures set up here? This mesh is using 4 textures, which starts with the, it's not showing here because it's in the, this one is not showing because it's in the this HL file. This is another thing I gotta talk to you guys. I don't want to get too that deep in this, but since this Lace 03 mod has several different color schemes, some of the textures will be located at the H and HL file. If you get a mod from myself and you open here and you see a black square, you can be sure the texture is not here. The texture is in the HHL file. Okay, so going back here, what do we have for the body 1? We have the diffuse texture is the first one, followed by 8, which is the dirty texture, followed by 11, which is the normal map, followed by the specular one. All right, so we can start to set up the configuration in the swimsuit mod to have the parameters, you know, following the same as the donating mod. So what I'm going to do, since we'll be adding the shoe here, we just change this one to the diffuse, followed by the dirty texture, right? So it's this one. I will use the dirty texture from the original mod, followed by the normal map for the shoe, followed by the specular. Okay, that's right. Next thing we're going to do is to check how this mesh is set up here. Okay, it's loading the textures in sequence 0012, so it's the same here, texture type configuration. You don't have anything related to transparency, as you can see here. These two columns are related to transparency, which are used for textures which have alpha channel, so no transparency on it. It has this column clicker. This side means double side. What does it mean? Some meshes, they have just one surface. Okay, if you want the texture to show on both sides of the surface, you gotta click this box here. So if you have your mod, let's say a skirt, and you only see the texture outside, if you look inside of the skirt and it's transparent, it means that it's not drawing on both sides of the mesh. To change this, you gotta click this box here. Okay, and then you have several configurations here which are related to the how the textures are drawn. Okay, in the model in game. At least that's what I understood. On this side, what I do, I usually, the culling, I will copy the same, which is in the original mod. Okay. These other configurations here, which are Z2 casting and ResCV, I keep them exactly the same as the other one. Z1 is priority in terms of transparency. This is very important because if you have a transparent texture, it will have to go with higher number. Okay, so the meshes which have lower number will draw and show beneath the transparent texture. Okay, in this case the shoe doesn't have any transparency, so it's basically O2. And then we come to these other three columns which need to be set up. And basically what I do in this case is to copy the parameters from the other one, but it's not putting the same numbers because these numbers, they are specific for the mod. If you click here, you're going to see that we have, for example, 0, 1, 2. In this one, we have up to 7. So it's not the same thing. Okay, what we do in this case is get material, right click, get material, and we will be selecting the other mod, iron lace. We'll be getting body 01. Okay, and what do we want to copy? We want to copy material code, MTCP. Okay, and we want to copy this last one, and we hit OK, and that's it. The software, the software for modding, it does it for us. Okay, sometimes it will pop up saying that it already has that parameter set up for the mod. If you want to create a new one or just use the one which is, you can choose, okay, use the one that is already in the mod. You don't need to create a new number because, as you can see, it will start creating new numbers here to add new parameters, okay, for the texture. So that's done for this one. Okay, what we're going to do is the same thing for the other one, which is the one for the steel piece. The metal piece is WGT body 21. So becoming here, where is the WGT body 21? It's here. Okay, so it's here. So we'll be getting the same thing. By the numbers here, I can tell that it's, let's see how it's organized. It's diffused. Okay, if you for instance open like this and say, okay, where do I click to get out of this window? It's not showing any command. Just press ask and it will leave, and you can bring up so you can have a look. Now we have the buttons here. So it starts with the diffuse for the metal piece, then it goes to the normal map, followed by the specular, and finally it comes back to the one which will give the 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 glow, the bright effect. Okay, so we've got to do the same thing here for the metal piece. We'll start with the diffuse, going to the normal map, going to the specular, and ending with this one. It's important to notice that some of these metal pieces in the vanilla outfits, and even in my newest mods, they don't use 4 textures. The reason why some of my old mods they use 4 textures is because I didn't know how to uh, add meshes to the mod with smaller amount of textures on that object. It's something that I'll learn later, which is basically related to Polygon Insert 2. Okay, if you're going to insert uh, a mesh into a mod, and you click this option here, insert into the object of different vertex data. This allows you to insert meshes which use only 2 or 3 textures in a slot which was originally for 4 textures, which is the case of this one. Since I created the new slots, they are showing 4 textures. If the mesh for the shoe was for 3 textures, and I have this option clicked when injecting the mesh into the mod, it would change this for 3 textures. But I didn't know how to do this in the past, so most of my old mods they use 4 textures, okay, just for reference. So going back to this one, as you can see here, the textures they are loaded in a different sequence. Instead of being 0012 is 0123. Okay, we'll be coming here and getting, no, sorry, this will add an additional texture. So 0 1 2 3. Okay, now we have the same thing. Okay, and since this is a material which has glow or brightness, if you will, we will have to work with these 2 columns. Okay, so the brightness can be drawn into the texture. Okay, and basically the setup is this one 1 2. So we'll be placing 1 and 2 here, and that's it. So we're going to transfer. Yes. Okay. It's not showing double side. Okay. No problem. Here we have 1 2 1. So I'll be changing here 1 2 1. Okay. You can copy the culling and put the same. Control V. And now we got to take these 3 parameters. Notice that once I get these parameters, this wet text will go out because of these mods. They are being considered as wet text, which, for what I understood, it draws one texture on the top of the other to give impression that the swimsuit is wet. Okay? So let's get the material for the metal piece. It's the same mod, different object. We'll go to WGT body 2.1 and we'll be getting this. Okay. Okay. See, in this case, it gave me the message saying that the parameter already exists. So I can, do you want to add? No, I don't want to add. So just click auto and it will use whatever I have in the mod. Save, overwrite, and that's it for the textures. Okay. The mod is ready to receive the meshes. We can see that the meshes are not in the mod because we look at the vertex count and IDX count and they are 0 0. Okay? So just be closing here and we'll go to the Polygon Insert tool, open the mod, it's this one, add the shoe and the metal piece. And let's say, wow, I forgot, why do I have to put this one? I just forgot. Okay, you can just go back to the object tool, open it. Open the mod again. And you see, okay, so the shoe will go to COS all 2. Okay, COS all 2. Here we go. You can leave keep because it's empty, it will make no difference. And the metal piece will go to COS all 3. Okay, COS all 3. No, it's not allowing me to go to the COS, it's only to the sweat chest. That's interesting. Okay, why would that be? Okay, if you have something like this, it's not allowing. I'll show a way to go around this. We're going to forget the metal piece for now, okay? And we're going to inject only the shoe. It's good when a speed bump comes up because it's a way so we can learn new things. So I just injected the shoe. If you open the mod, we'll be seeing the shoe here. But of course, the body, it's still the one for the barefoot. Okay. So how do we go around about the metal piece? Very simple. We get it from Blender. File, export, TMC mesh. Let's see if it goes now. Body to 1. And now it allows you to put in any place you want. See, for modding, there are ways around to do the same thing. And it's important to know these tricks so you can keep on. Because if you don't know things like this, you hit a roadblock and say, okay, so what do I do now? Okay. All right, so now we have so now I have the shoe complete here, the base shoe and the metal piece. As you can see, the parameters for the textures are working the same way as the other mod. See, exactly the same thing. Next step is to change the body mesh. Okay, so we can have the right shoe, right foot here. You will see why I did this before. It's because so we can arrange the other mesh to fit the foot perfectly. So at this point, we don't need the textures for the shoe anymore. We don't need the meshes anymore. And the only thing that we need is this body texture here. It's the only thing that we need. So we can extract this TMC mesh. And here we have it. Okay. Now the work will go to Blender. We can close this. Very careful when you have the same mod open in different tools, TMC tools, okay? Because when you close, it will ask you if you want to save. And if you did changes with one tool and close that tool, job is done, but you forget the mod opening in another tool and you hit save, it will revert the changes. So if you're not sure, just hit no. Remember, in this case, we were working with the Polygon Insert tool by adding the metal piece of the shoe. So there was no work in the object tool, no reason to save. Should I have saved, it would save without the meshes. You can see here, look, 0 and 0. So it would revert my changes. Very important to keep attention in this thing. Okay. So here we have it. We will not be using this mod, so file new, general, no save. Let's import our swimsuit mod. And let's hide the armature here. Where is it? Okay. Oops, sorry. That's okay. The material is here. All right, and let's get the other body. Import TMC mesh. Okay, here we go. Okay, if you followed my other tutorials, you know that at this point what we need to do is put some color in this body so we can differentiate one from the other. So let's get this body, paint it blue. Painting blue. Transparency. Where is? There is one place in which we change the transparency. See that I forgot. Jeez, too much time without using Blender is quite a pain. No, it's not this. Pass index, no. No. Damn. Well, it looks like I forgot how to work with the how to end the transparency on this one. Base color, specular. Yeah, for some reason I forgot how to remove the transparency on the mesh. Might be getting old. Okay, let's get this other one. Maybe it will come back at some point. Ah, it's here. Which we change. Okay, this one will be orange, and this one will be here, blue. Okay. Yeah, too much time without using Blender, we end up forgetting. So, what's the deal here? We got get rid of these shoes, this feet. Sorry. Can for now hide the shoes momentarily. What will be the deal? The deal is we got to replace this feet or leg, depending on what we think is quicker, by these other ones. When you open mesh over mesh like this and you rotate, you start to notice something like this. If you see this kind of effect, this is a good indication that down to this point, these meshes, probably they match pretty close to each other. And it's good to know this, because this can be the point in which we're going to cut these meshes, okay? To disconnect one and reconnect the other. So I would say we'll be severing here in both legs, or maybe here, and so we can transplant, so to speak, from one leg to the other. So let's just choose one. The 6 is the one which use the heels. So the 6 will have to stay from one point down. Let's choose here. We're going to get rid of this point up. Okay. Right. Same height. Exactly same height. And we don't need this above. Left Control plus in the keypad and you select everything. If you want to make sure what is left, just press A, and this is what's left. Click outside, left click outside, and there we have it. Next step, we're going to get rid of the legs on the orange one from this point down. Okay, so here and here. Delete. As you can see, with the Control Plus didn't select the fit, because when you import into Blender, sometimes the mesh get segmented. Okay, let's see what's left. Just the upper side of the body, which you need. Great. So one thing you can do at this point. No, let's leave this to the end. It's better. Okay, let's connect these two meshes together. If you remember from previous tutorials, right? Clicking this one, hold left shift, clicking the second one, control left control J, and then everything is in body 0. Okay? I cannot stress enough, guys, it's important that you have seen the other tutorials, because you know what I'm doing here is I'm not going so slow as I went in the others. Okay, so let's see. Now we got to connect these to make sure that both meshes are connected, right? So the vertices on the orange one and the blue one got to be together. The way is we select both, merge vertices at center. When we are joining two meshes, it's always at center. Okay. Oops, sorry, I think I got something which I shouldn't. So Ctrl Z, now select that one. At center, there you go. Same thing, center. We're gonna go all around the circumference. So no gaps. Center. Center. This one. Enter. And funny thing, if you hit one that you already did, the merge option will not show up. This is the first one I did. So if you want to double check, you just select two of these vertices and try to merge. If the merge command doesn't show up, it means that you already did. Okay. So here's going to be the same thing in this circumference. Edge, center. This one done. So basically they are merged together pretty good now. Okay, it will be showing two colors here, but it's not a problem. Next thing we're gonna do is to get rid of these edges and make it smooth. So again, if you've seen previous tutorials, it's just selecting everything but the nails to merge by distance. Okay, Control plus. Make sure 5 nails are out. In the fit too, 5 there, 5 here. Merge by distance. All right. And let's do a final check with the shoes, which should be okay since we took the entire leg from this point down. It will fit perfectly. Okay. If we want, that we could try to, instead of severing here, severing down here, um, to and then rework the legs meshes to fit perfectly in the shoes. But this is the first way to do. You know, I wouldn't advise you to try to complicate something which can be done in an easy way. So next step, we're going to export this one, body 0. Okay, Blender is working. Body 0 is here. Here we go. Let's get our polygon tool again. And in this case, we will be replacing body 0 because we changed it. So, override. And there we go. The outfit with shoes. It's this simple. As you can see, once you know the steps, it's one of the simplest things to do in terms of modding. Let's suppose that this was not an open shoe, it was a closed shoe. It probably would be much easier. Instead of in Blender severing higher and transplanting, maybe you could just get the original mesh, cut at some points, delete from that point down, and the closed shoes would work just fine. Okay, but if you are using open shoes, you have the feet, the toes, you have the nails, so you have to do this work for adding the proper fit here. Okay, so that's basically how you do. This works for open shoes, this is working for closed shoes. If it's boots, you just cut a little higher in the legs, get rid of the feet, and inject the other shoes as I show it to you here in this tutorial. Okay? So that's how it goes, guys. I hope this helped. I hope by every new tutorial, every new video, you are learning a little bit more related to the modding tools and related to the to Blender. You know, Blender, knowing how to use the modding tools, taking the most out of them, and knowing how to do the things in Blender is the key point of modding this game. Okay, and of course, there is one additional step after this one, which is to come here in the post-processing tool. Wow, it's not here? Okay, so I forgot to put the tool here. But if you follow the procedure which I did in the previous tutorials, you open the TMC's post-processing tool, load this model in that tool, correct all the normals, everything else, and it will load pretty pretty good in game, and you will have the model you want. Okay, so hope you like it. Enjoy. Questions will be welcome at DeviantArt page. I'm keeping YouTube comment section closed because realistically YouTube is a very complex platform with haters. It's a platform which involves many kind of different subjects, and people talk about politics, about all kind of stuff, and I really don't want to have this kind of discussion about game modding on YouTube. I prefer to have this kind of talk with you guys on DeviantArt. Okay, because that's only for people who is focusing on this. You know, hopefully there will be no one coming to cause trouble or say BS, because let's face it, I'm too old to lose my time listening to people talking BS. I'm here just trying to help you, to allow you to do the mods you want. I've been a player in the past who was not able to do the mods I wanted to do, and I know how it is sometimes. If you know how to do it, it's it's something nice. Okay, and it doesn't cost me much, just time to put these videos together. So as long as I can find time, I will keep doing the tutorials. Okay. The next tutorial, which probably has to be, should be a tutorial for a light port from XPS to TMC. Okay, but that's for another time. Otherwise, I'm going to extend too much this video. But I will select a XPS model, and from that I'm going to port it to TMC, showing you guys how it is done. Although Funny Bunny 666 have written a very good tutorial, but you know, written tutorial, it's something which gets complicated sometimes. And when we do a video, some things can pop up while doing the mod, and I have the chance to do some comments and pass some of my knowledge. So have a good one, guys. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for the questions. Appreciate it.